Hey everyone, Sean Binda here from Hindu Lifestyle. I'm born and raised right here in Canada, and my parents are from the island of Trinidad and Tobago. And of course, I'm Hindu to the core. Professionally, I'm a radiation therapist and I hold 2 degrees from the University of Toronto. But beyond the classroom and the clinic, the core of my identity is Hindu. And it's important that we connect our ancient roots to our life here in Canada. But you might be wondering, how did I maintain this Hindu identity? Well, growing up, I attended the Devi Mandir located in Pickering, Ontario. And I saw right there and then how our traditions could fade if we didn't act. So it hit me. I had to make Hinduism real for my generation. So in our early 20s, a group of us created a youth group within the walls of the temple that focused on maintaining one thing: social connections within our community. And this is what got the ball rolling. Since then, I've organized Hindu youth conferences, and I was proud to be part of the organizing committee of the first ever Hindu youth conference in 2000 at the University of Toronto. I've taught classes at our temple on Hinduism to teenagers and young adults, and since then, that led me to start up Hindu Lifestyle, where I break down stereotypes and I make our faith relatable for North American youth and connect with other Hindus. I'm also working with groups like Hindu Student Council and Hindu Yuva in running workshops like my most recent one on Hindu identity in the digital domain. So what is my advice to you? Own your identity. Dig into our scriptures. Ask the tough questions. It's not rocket science. Start simple. Join a temple event or simply chant a mantra. Remember, Hinduism is here to stay. And it is on us to keep Sanatan Dharma alive right here in Canada. Jai Shri Ram.
A Siwala is a place of worship that the Hindus had where the worship of Lord Shiva was exclusive. This Siwala in the exchange is built out of dirt. I came to this temple in 1985 as the person who will do the prayers and to take charge of the running of the affairs of the temple. Prior to that was my father, and prior to him it was my grandfather. This is not the first. There were others before this. I am told from my old uncle, the elder, that this may have been either the 3rd or the 4th Hindu temple that was built in Trinidad.
This area, central Trinidad, has always been under sugarcane cultivation since the time of slavery. And when slavery was abolished, then you had need for laborers. The British was also in control of India because India was a colony just as Trinidad, so it was easy. And so indented immigrants were brought to work in the sugarcane plantations. But because the majority of indented immigrants were Hindus, when they came, they found the time and the resources and the vision and the imagination and so on to construct temples. We are still scientifically trying to determine the exact date of construction, but it is estimated to be about 150 years old and still standing and still with original structure, architectural structure, except the roof that is now covered by galvanized.
In the original, it may have been covered with grass because that is what was available and funding would have been limited to the indentures.
There is no inlaid wood in the walls. It's made purely of mud. The base is about 18 inches thick and it narrows as it goes up. So what is unique about this temple is that it has reliefs. A relief is a piece of sculpture that is done while the wall is being built, not an attachment. And they're still intact. It is remarkable, remarkable. And just to touch it and to see it and so on is quite an experience because you're going back into history.
We suppose to preserve some of our history so that our children will know a little bit about the development of Hinduism in Trinidad. Because we old people just say, if we have no history, we never exist. Right? So it is important that we know where we came from, where we are now, and perhaps the direction that we should go in the future.
When I come here, I feel inspired by a simple man in his simple way who did something so grand.
Siddharth Sadhu arrived in Trinidad on the ship Ganges in 1915. He worked in the sugar fields, and after retiring in 1947, he built a little place of worship which we call a kutia out in the land.
The story goes that he made a sankalp, a kind of sacred vow that you take to do something. He took the vow that he would build this temple. Originally, he built it near to the sea on the banks, as it were on swampy land.
The land had belonged to Caroni Limited, and they had him go to court for trespassing, and he was charged a shilling. He refused to pay it and spent 7 days in prison.
As a child, this is a story that I heard, that he made up his mind, okay, that land is yours, but the sea doesn't belong to you, and I'm going to build it out in the sea. And so he built it, he would put on his bicycle on the handle, two sides, a bucket. He started with stone and cement and so on, and making that journey from his home to here to fill the space in the sea. He did this every day for 17 years. It was the first Hindu pilgrimage spot in Trinidad.
He died, I think, in 1971. And after that, there was no one to look after the building. And because of the way it was built and the elements of the sea, it was completely eroded. In 1994, my mom died, and we cremated her on the bank here. And 2 months later, my dad passed away, and we came back. And we said there and then that we are going to rebuild this mandir in honor of our parents. Siddharth Sadhu is really the one that inspired us, because if he did not start this building in the sea, we would not have thought of it. So really and truly, because of his inspiration, this temple stands today.
When we talk about tangible and intangible culture, it is both tangible in the sense that you can see what a man built, and the intangible, what moved his spirit to perform such a Herculean task, we would say a Hanumanian task. So it's really a man, manifesting in this country, claiming his space.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Rama, Hare